Bhaktir-bhavati naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Today we are beginning a new chapter, Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is entitled Lord Krishna Shows the Universal Form Within His Mouth. So Srila Prabhupada has given the summary of the chapter. I'll just read that, then we will chant the actual verse. The summary of the 8th chapter is as follows. This chapter describes the ceremony of giving a name to Krishna. It also describes his crawling, his playing with the cows, and his eating earth, and again showing the universal form to his mother. The previous chapter, even though it was entitled The Killing of the Demon Trinavarta, still in that, as you remember, 3 pastimes were described. One is killing of Shakatasura, the second one was killing of Trinavarta, third one was Krishna showing his universal form in his mouth to Mother Yashoda. Now this Krishna showing his universal form to Mother Yashoda is repeated by Krishna a little later after he started crawling and walking and playing and all that. So that is now exclusively described in another chapter, the 8th chapter. Srila Prabhupada elaborates on these topics a little in this summary. One day Vasudeva sent for Garga Muni, the family priest of the Yadu Vamsha, and thus Garga Muni went to the house of Nanda Maharaj, who received him very well and requested him to give names to Krishna and Balaram. Garga Muni, of course, reminded Nanda Maharaj that Kamsa was looking for the son of Devaki and said that if he performed the ceremony very gorgeously, the ceremony would come to the notice of Kamsa, who would then suspect that Krishna was the son of Devaki. Nanda Maharaj therefore requested Garga Muni to perform this ceremony without anyone's knowledge, and Garga Muni did so. Because Balaram, the son of Rohini, increases the transcendental bliss of others, his name is Rama, and because of his extraordinary strength, he is called Baladeva. He attracts the Yadus to follow his instructions, and therefore his name is Sankarshana. Krishna, the son of Yashoda, previously appeared in many other colors such as white, red, and yellow, and he had now assumed the color black. Because he was sometimes the son of Vasudeva, his name is Vasudeva. According to his various activities and qualities, he has many other names. To thus informing Nanda Maharaj and completing the name-giving ceremony, Garga Muni advised Nanda Maharaj to protect his son very carefully and then departed. Shukadeva Goswami next described how the 2 children crawled, walked on their small legs, played with the cows and calves, stole butter and other milk products, and broke the butter pots. In this way, he described many naughty activities of Krishna and Balaram. The most wonderful of these occurred when Krishna's playmates complained to Mother Yashoda that Krishna was eating earth. Mother Yashoda wanted to open Krishna's mouth to see the evidence so that she could chastise him. Sometimes she assumed the position of a chastising mother, and at the next moment, she was overwhelmed with maternal love. After describing all this to Maharaj Parikshit, Shukadeva Goswami, at Maharaj Parikshit's request, praised the fortune of Mother Yashoda and Nanda. Nanda and Yashoda were formerly Drona and Dhara, and by the order of Brahma, they came to this earth and had the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son. The most fortunate in the whole universe, whole creation. Text 1. Please repeat after me. Shri Shuka Uvacha Gargaha Purohito Rajan Gargah Purohito Rajan Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Vrajam Jagama Nandasya Vasudeva Vrajam Jagamanandasya Vasudeva Prachoditaha Vasudeva Prachoditaha. Shri Shuka Uvacha Garga Purohito Rajan Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Vrajam Jagamanandasya Vasudeva Prachoditaha. Shri Shuka Vacha Garga Purohito Rajan Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Vrajam Jagamanandasya Vasudeva Prachoditaha. Shri Shuka Vacha Garga Purohito Rajan Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Vrajam Jagamanandasya Vasudeva Prachoditaha. Shri Shuka Vacha Garga Purohito Rajan Yadunam Sumaha Tapaha Vrajam Jagamanandasya Vasudeva Prachoditaha. Word for meaning. Shri Shuka Vacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Gargaha Gargamuni Purohitaha, the priest, Rajan, O King Parikshit, Yaduna, of the Yadu dynasty, Sumaha Tapaha, highly elevated in austerity and penance, Vrajam, to the village known as Vraja Bhumi, Jagama, went, Nandasya, of Maharaj Nanda, Vasudeva Prachoditaha, being inspired by Vasudeva. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shukadeva Goswami said, O Maharaj Parikshit, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, namely Garga Muni, was highly elevated in austerity and penance, was then inspired by Vasudeva to go see Nanda Maharaj at his home. Please repeat this translation after me. Shukadeva Goswami said, O Maharaj Parikshit, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, namely Garga Muni, was highly elevated in austerity and penance, was then inspired by Vasudeva to go see Nanda Maharaj at his home. I'll read next 3 verses. Text 2. Tam drishtva paramapritaha pratyuthaya kritanjalihi anarcha adhokshaja dhiya pranipata purassaram. Translation. When Nanda Maharaj saw Garga Muni present at his home, Nanda was so pleased that he stood up to receive him with folded hands. Although seeing Garga Muni with his eyes, Nanda Maharaj could appreciate that Garga Muni was adhokshaja. That is, he was not an ordinary person seen by material senses. Text 3. Supavishtam krutatithyam gira sundritaya munim nandayitva bravid brahman purnasya karavamakim. Translation of this third verse. When Garga Muni had been properly received as a guest and was very comfortably seated, Nanda Maharaj submitted with gentle and submissive words. Dear sir, because you are a devotee, you are full in everything. Yet my duty is to serve you. Kindly order me. What can I do for you? Text 4. Mahadvichalanam ndrinam grihinam dinachetasam nishreyasaya bhagavan kalpate nanyatha kvachit. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord, O great devotee, Nanda Maharaj is speaking to Garga Muni. Persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interests, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas or householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As factually stated by Nanda Maharaj, Garga Muni, being a devotee, has no needs. Similarly, when Krishna comes, he has no needs, for he is Purna, Atma Rama. Nonetheless, he descends to this material world to protect the devotees and vanquish miscreants. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. This is the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and devotees also have the same mission. One who executes this mission of para upakara, performing welfare activities for people in general, is recognized by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as being very, very dear to him. Nachatasman manushyeshu kaschin me priya krittamaha. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised this para upakara, and he has especially advised the inhabitants of India. Bharata bhumite hoilo manushya janmaja janma sarthaka kori koro poro upakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatavarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. On the whole, the duty of a pure Vaishnava is to act for the welfare of others. Nanda Maharaj could understand that Garga Muni had come for this purpose, and that his own duty now was to act according to Garga Muni's advice. Thus he said, "Please tell me what is my duty." This should be the attitude of everyone, especially the householder. The Varnashrama society is organized into 8 divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Nanda Maharaj represented himself as Grihinam, a householder. A brahmachari factually has no needs, but Grihi, householders, are engaged in sense gratification. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.44, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apahruta chetasam. Everyone has come to this material world for sense gratification. And the position of those who are too attached to sense gratification and who therefore accept the grihastha is very precarious. Since everyone in this material world is searching for sense gratification, grihasthas are required to be trained as Mahat, great Mahatmas. Therefore, Nanda Maharaj specifically used the word Mahad Vichalanam. Garga Muni had no interest to serve by going to Nanda Maharaj. But Nanda Maharaj as a Grihastha was always perfectly ready to receive instructions from a Mahatma to gain the real benefit in life. Thus he was ready to execute Garga Muni's order. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Lord Krishna performs extraordinary activities. And therefore, his activities are called Leela, pastimes. The real purpose of Krishna performing pastimes is simply to give pleasure to his devotees. He himself is full of pleasure, Anandamaya. And even though he is completely self-satisfied, his pleasure increases when he gives pleasure to his devotees. Why? Because when he gives pleasure to his devotees, the devotees become even more pleased. The devotees are already pleased because they are always engaged in serving Krishna. So they are very happy serving Krishna. But when Krishna gives them pleasure, they become much more pleased. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described very nicely by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, the gopis, the young gopis, used to go to Krishna. Why? Just to please him in whichever way they could serve him. And gopis are naturally very beautiful. They're the most beautiful personalities in the whole creation, the whole cosmic manifestation. But still, simply to please Krishna, they would decorate themselves very nicely. You can imagine, somebody is beautiful, doesn't need decoration. Why they should decorate themselves? Simply for the sake of pleasing Krishna. So they would go to Krishna after decorating themselves very nicely. And then Krishna, looking at the gopis, and who are the gopis? They are his topmost devotees. Krishna would notice, these gopis are very beautiful girls. But just to please me, they have decorated themselves. And they decorate themselves not in a hurry. They do it very meticulously. Why? Because this is the nature of a devotee. Whatever a devotee does, the devotee does only for pleasing Krishna. If their aim is to please Krishna by decorating themselves very nicely, they'll do it very meticulously. And Krishna, seeing them, they have so carefully, meticulously decorated themselves just to please me. Krishna becomes very, very pleased. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, when Krishna is pleased, the gopis see Krishna is very pleased with us. And therefore, they become very, very happy. Oh, Krishna is pleased with us? Very nice. When Krishna sees that gopis are even more pleased, then Krishna becomes even more pleased. So actually, there is a constant competition between Krishna and his devotees. What is that competition? The devotees want to please Krishna and Krishna want to please his devotees. So what happens? When devotees please Krishna, Krishna becomes more happy. Krishna is by nature full of ananda, but that ananda he expresses externally when his devotees please him. Okay? So, when devotees please Krishna, Krishna becomes very happy. And then when Krishna becomes very happy, the devotees looking at Krishna being pleased and therefore happy with their service, the devotees become very, very happy, and because they are also pleased in having pleased Krishna. Then the devotees become more happy, because devotees are also always happy because they are serving Krishna. Nature of service to Krishna is, it makes you happy. That's why Bhakti Yoga is very special. But what is Bhakti Yoga? Simply serving Krishna, that's all. That is Bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Definition of Bhakti. Use your senses to please the master of the senses, the owner of the senses, Krishna, to please Krishna. So using the senses is nothing but activity. Engaging the senses is nothing but activity. So whatever activities you do, you simply please Krishna. That's called bhakti. And the result of bhakti is when you perform different activities simply for pleasing Krishna, then you become very happy. You become pleased in your heart. You become happy. Then when you become happy, just by serving Krishna, Krishna is very happy. Because Krishna has got love for you. Krishna has got love for every one of his parts and parcels. So Krishna has got love. And symptom of love is the pleasure of the beloved. That is a symptom of love. Love means what? If I love somebody, I want that person whom I love to be always happy. always happy. That is love. So when Krishna sees, oh, this devotee whom he loves naturally, always. So devotee is happy, Krishna becomes happy. Krishna becomes pleased. Then when Krishna becomes pleased, then you become happy. Because you are serving Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. If Krishna is happy, you become even more happy. You already got pleasure by doing your service. But the consequence of your service is that Krishna becomes pleased and therefore you become even more happy. So this can increase unlimitedly. Even though we are limited, by serving Krishna, we can derive unlimited pleasure. How is that? Not because we are unlimited. No, we are limited. We always are limited, we remain limited. But when we please Krishna, Krishna actually gives us unlimited pleasure. Krishna gives us unlimited pleasure. So it's the nature of spiritual happiness that it is always unlimited. And what is the nature of material happiness? It is limited. But how limited? It is momentary. It's called Chapala Sukha. I've explained this many times earlier. I'm repeating. Material happiness is Chapala Sukha. It is, Chapala means it's momentary. Kshana matra irutte. It comes and it just disappears. Over, finished, khatam. So, as devotees, you should become intelligent. You're already intelligent, because of which you have become devotees. But you should become more intelligent, more and more intelligent. What is that? You should understand this difference between material happiness and spiritual pleasure. And spiritual pleasure is unlimited. And what is our nature? We want to be always happy. And we want lot of happiness. We are not satisfied with little pleasure. And we always want pleasure. We are always pleasure seeking. So, therefore, you should take to activities of bhakti. You should only perform activities of bhakti. Only perform activities of bhakti. Now, you'll say, yeah, I want to do bhakti, but sometimes I'm obliged or I'm forced to do some other activity which is not bhakti. Material activities, material duties at least, if not material activities. Material duties I have to perform. So that material duties, material activities anyway, it really doesn't give happiness, but even if some so-called happiness is there, it's very, very little. It's very momentary. It's never satisfying. So what do I do? Material duties, I cannot neglect. That's Krishna's instructions. In the Bhagavad Gita, Ma manusmara yudhya cha. You remember me, by which you will be very happy. Everything will be fine for you. But also do your duty. Do your duty. And that duty presently is connected with this body, no? Material duty. We are in the material world. So, what about material duties then? If you tell me, do bhakti, you'll be always happy, everything will be perfect. But what about material duties? This is what is taught by Prabhupada, by his own example and by his instructions. This word is taught by Krishna also. What is that? Even material duties can be performed as devotional service. Hear this carefully. Material duties can also be performed as spiritual activities, devotional service. That is taught by Prabhupada. That is taught by all our acharyas. That's taught by the Bhagavatam. See Nanda Maharaj. Now here the description is by Shukadeva Goswami that Vasudeva, who is also a devotee, Nanda Maharaj is a devotee. Vasudeva belongs to the Yadu dynasty. And he, as you know, he had hidden his son in Nanda Maharaj's house for protecting the child against atrocities of Kamsa. So now the child is growing up. Nanda Maharaj doesn't know that this child is Vasudeva's child. Nanda Maharaj thinks that it's his son. Because Vasudeva exchanged that baby girl born of Nanda and Yashoda. Remember? We discussed this also earlier. So, Nanda Maharaj wants Garga Muni to perform that naming ceremony. Not that if Nanda Maharaj doesn't arrange to send Garga Muni, if Vasudeva doesn't arrange to send Garga Muni, it's not that Nanda Maharaj will not perform naming ceremony, he'll perform it. But he may not call Garga Muni, because Garga Muni is the priest of the Yadu dynasty, of the Kshatriyas. And Nanda Maharaj is Vaishya. So he will have his priest, he will have his community arrangement, etc. So he may not call Garga Muni. So, but Vasudeva wanted Garga Muni to perform the name-giving ceremony of his son Krishna, who was with Nanda Maharaj. So he called for Garga Muni, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, and requested him, please perform the name-giving ceremony of my son Krishna, who is in Nanda Gokula, Nanda Maharaj's house. And there anyway, Vasudeva's elder son, who is that? Balaram. Balaram is also there in Nanda Maharaj's house. Correct? Balaram was born before Krishna as a son of Yashoda, but later on transferred to the womb of Rohini, another queen of Nanda Maharaj. Another queen of Vasudeva. So even Rohini was not in Mathura, but she was in Nanda Gokula, in the house of Nanda Maharaj, because of Kamsa's atrocities against the Yadus. So therefore, she was also in Nanda Maharaj's house. So Vasudeva had hidden Krishna and his another queen, Rohini, both of them in Nanda Maharaj's house. So Vasudeva sent Garga Muni to Nanda Maharaj's house to perform the name-giving ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. Now what will Nanda Maharaj understand that Vasudeva has sent his priest, Yadu dynasty priest, to my house for name-giving ceremony? Oh, he has sent that for that Vasudeva has sent Garga Muni for name-giving ceremony to perform for Balaram, because Balaram is Nanda Maharaj's, Vasudeva's son, right? So that's why it is said here, Parikshit sent Garga Muni for what purpose? To perform the name-giving ceremony of his son. Not sons, of his son. What was Vasudeva's interest really? That the name-giving ceremony of Krishna should be performed by Garga Muni. Balaram's name-giving ceremony, even if somebody else does, it's okay. But Krishna's name-giving ceremony should be performed by Garga Muni. not by any other priest. Why? Because Garga Muni is described here as see the description of Garga Muni here, second verse. When Nanda Maharaj saw Garga Muni present at his home, Nanda was so pleased that he stood up to receive him with folded hands. Nanda Maharaj knew who Garga Muni was. He knew Garga Muni was the priest of the Yadu dynasty, not just an official priest. He was a very, very, very advanced devotee. Very advanced devotee. And therefore, it is said here, although seeing Garga Muni with his eyes, Nanda Maharaj could appreciate that Garga Muni was Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja means, that's another name for Krishna, means he cannot be perceived by our material senses. That means he can't be seen with our material eyes. Adhokshaja, beyond ordinary sense perception. Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, one reason. Another reason is Krishna has spiritual form. Spiritual form can't be seen with material eyes. So, just like Krishna cannot be seen with material eyes, Garga Muni also cannot be seen with ordinary eyes because he is a pure devotee. If Garga Muni cannot be seen with ordinary eyes, how did Nanda Maharaj see him? When he came, saw, oh, Garga Muni has come. He received him very nicely. How could he see him? The meaning is, cannot be seen with these eyes means cannot be recognized for what they actually are. Just like when Krishna incarnated, it's not that people could not see Krishna. They could see Krishna. That's the meaning of incarnation, no? He becomes visible to ordinary people of this world. That's the meaning of avatar. But even though Krishna is visible when he is incarnated, still he cannot be recognized as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Cannot be understood as God. Oh, God has come. No. What will people think if they see him as a covered boy? They'll think he's a covered boy, ordinary covered boy. Like so many covered boys are there in Raja. Like them, in the covered community, there are so many boys, so many covered men, they have their children. Like that, Nanda Maharaj also a covered man, and he also has got a son who's a covered boy. That's all. So, seeing Garga Muni, people will recognize he's a Brahmana. He's a priest. But they will not know he's not just a priest. He's not just a Brahmana, a regular Brahmana. He is a pure devotee of Krishna. His completely spiritual personality. That people cannot recognize by seeing with these eyes, cannot make out. No symptoms, externally visible symptoms, by seeing the form. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, a great personality is not recognized by seeing. A great personality is recognized by hearing. Why? Because the words that come out of a great personality's mouth are also not ordinary words. So when they speak only of essentials. This is Prabhupada's language. They speak only of essentials. They speak only very, very, very important things. And what is the most important thing? To hear descriptions of Krishna, to hear about Krishna. Krishna Katha. So whenever a pure devotee speaks, whatever he speaks is Krishna Katha. Whatever he speaks is Krishna Katha. So, a pure devotee is recognized by the words he speaks, by speech. Therefore, even though when Prabhupada went to America, he appeared as another sadhu who's come from India. And sadhus used to go those days, at least, for what? Teaching yoga. Right? Teaching yoga, they used to go. So one hippie boy, when he saw Prabhupada on the street, are you from India? Prabhupada said, yes. Can you teach me yoga? Prabhupada said, yes. So Prabhupada started off this way. His actual preaching began much before that, but the real preaching began in New York when this hippie boy asked Prabhupada, can you teach me yoga? And Prabhupada said, yes. Then immediately the next question is, okay, where do you teach yoga? Obviously, he'll want to go to that place where a yoga teacher is conducting yoga classes. So Prabhupada did not have a proper place to stay. He was staying with Dr. Mishra. But Dr. Mishra had his yoga classes in his yoga studio. Yeah? So Prabhupada was staying with him, but Prabhupada cannot teach Bhakti Yoga in Dr. Mishra's yoga studio. Okay? So Prabhupada said, where do you stay? He asked him. He said, I stay somewhere nearby. I'll come to your place to teach you. He's completely bewildered, this hippie boy. What is this? He's telling he'll come to my place. And in America, what happens is, those who want to take special lessons, they want individual instruction. For such individual instruction, generally, either they have to go to the place of the teacher alone, and he should be ready to teach him alone, or the instructor will come home and teach you, because in your home, you're the only one. Nobody else is there. So he'll teach you individually. He'll come to your home. So this hippie boy thought, maybe Swamiji wants to give me some personal lessons. Very special Swamiji. So okay, he took Prabhupada to his room where he was staying, and Prabhupada started staying there. Because Prabhupada had no place. Prabhupada started staying there. So the hippie boy was very happy and he learned. And that's how Prabhupada's International Society for Krishna Consciousness began. Anyway, so Prabhupada, he began in a very simple way, teaching Bhakti Yoga to some interested boys and girls. But these boys and girls, who initially thought Prabhupada is another sadhu who's come from India and teaching Bhakti Yoga. Okay. But when they started closely associating with Prabhupada, they could realize Prabhupada is not just another yoga, Bhakti Yoga teacher. He's an extraordinary personality. They could realize that. Therefore, Shastras say, and even Prabhupada teaches us, that a great personality is recognized by his speech. By speech. Because whatever Prabhupada would speak, he would only speak about Krishna. So, Prabhupada teaches us, even Bhagavatam teaches us, that how we can actually perform even ordinary activities as devotional service. Then our life is perfect. Nanda Maharaj, he was very pleased to receive Garga Muni. Garga Muni came home. So then he very nicely received him like a Brahmana is respected in the society, in the Vedic culture, by everyone else, especially by Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. They're offered special respect. So Gargamuni had been received properly as a guest and was very comfortably seated, Sukhasina. Then Nanda Maharaj submitted with gentle and submissive words, "Dear sir, because you are a devotee, you're full in everything." Nanda Maharaj knew Gargamuni is not just another Brahmana or ordinary priest, he is actually a great devotee. Now, how could Nanda Maharaj recognize as a great devotee? Because Nanda Maharaj himself is a pure devotee. So, another lesson for us. A pure devotee can be recognized as a pure devotee by another pure devotee only. Cannot be recognized by those who are not pure devotees. So, Nanda Maharaj recognized Gargamuni as a great devotee, and therefore he addressed him, "Because you are a devotee, you're full in everything. Yet my duty is to serve you. Kindly order me, what can I do for you?" He's asking, what can I do for you? But then, Nanda Maharaj also is pointing out for all of us, not for Gargamuni. He's telling, "O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grahasthas like me." So this is also the characteristic of a sadhu. The word sadhu is to be used only for devotees. Sadhu means devotee. That's the definition of sadhu in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavyaha. The statement of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita. So a sadhu is one, bhajate mam ananya bhak, one who renders devotional service to Krishna, ananya bhakti, undeviated devotional service, pure devotional service. That is a sadhu. Sadhu means pure devotee. So, because Gargamuni is a pure devotee, what is the purpose of his traveling from one place to another or going to somebody's house? Only for others' interest, not for his interest, to benefit them, to do welfare activity for them. Otherwise, a great devotee has no interest in going from one place to another. So the only reason a devotee comes to your house is to benefit you, is to do welfare for you, welfare activities for you. Otherwise, devotees have no business going to anybody else's house. So, this is a very important instruction for us. And Srila Prabhupada says the purport that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is advised that all Indians, Bharata Bhumite Hoilo Manushya Janmajar, all those who have taken birth in this Bharata Varsha, means present day India at least, that if you have taken human birth, then two things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Janma sarthaka kori, you make your life successful by becoming devotees. And karo paropakar, you also do welfare activity for others by preaching Krishna consciousness and distributing Krishna consciousness to others. By doing welfare activity for others, by making them Krishna conscious, by giving them Krishna consciousness. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Mission, actually. It's his mission. It's also Krishna's mission in this material world. He comes for the welfare of all the living beings in this material world. And he himself performs that welfare activity by delivering all the conditioned souls when he comes. So Krishna was present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra for the sake of Arjuna, of course. That's why he became the chariot driver for Arjuna. But not only for Arjuna's benefit, but for the benefit of all the assembled soldiers, all the assembled Kshatriyas. Why? Because whoever would die in the presence of Krishna, they would become completely purified and liberated, and they would go back to Godhead. Krishna's merciful glance on anybody is enough for their deliverance. Just one moment. So particularly at the moment of death, if somebody has darshan of Krishna, somebody remembers Krishna, so Krishna's glance falls on them at the time of death, then what is the result? They become completely purified and they go back to Godhead. They go back to Godhead. Ultimate liberation. It's called ultimate liberation. Never to take birth again, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti. You never take birth again. Cycle of birth is finished. And you go to Krishna Loka to enjoy with Krishna eternal life full of bliss and knowledge. So Krishna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, not for Arjuna, because Arjuna is a pure devotee. He doesn't require Krishna's deliverance. The others who are not so fortunate to take up bhakti yoga or to practice Krishna consciousness, not even the Pandavas, not even those who are fighting on the Pandavas side, they were all devotees. But the Kauravas and those who are fighting on the Kauravas side, unfortunate fellows. Not all those who are fighting on Kauravas side were demoniac natured. Kauravas were Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhe. This is also described in the Bhagavad Gita. Durbuddhi. They all were demoniac natured. The sons of Dhritarashtra. So, those fighting on the side of Kauravas, why would they fight on the side of Kauravas? Unless they are of the same nature as Kauravas. Even though they were not necessarily born as demoniac natured persons, by some bad influence of the Kauravas, they also supported Kauravas. They should not have supported Kauravas. They should have supported Pandavas. The Dharma Yuddha. So anyway, Krishna wants to deliver everybody. He wants to take everyone back to God because everyone is his own part and parcel. Everyone is his son. Even the demons are Krishna's own children. Not that only devotees are Krishna's part and parcel. Krishna's children. No. Everyone is. Every living being is. So Krishna wants to deliver everybody. So he takes the opportunity to deliver in all possible ways when he is present here. So, at the time of death, if somebody is fortunate enough to see Krishna or Krishna's glance falls on them, then what happens? They become purified. Now, when they are purified, what happens? They understand who they are. I'm not a demon. I don't belong to this world. I'm actually part and parcel of Krishna. I belong to Krishna. So, they realize who they are. And they realize who they are, what will they do? They don't want to stay here anymore. They don't have any more material desires. They only want to go back to Krishna. And Krishna takes them back. Because they're ready, they're pure, they desire to go back to Krishna. So Krishna will take them. So this is how Krishna delivers everyone when he comes. Krishna delivers everybody when he comes. Simply by his glance, simply by they appreciating his beauty, simply by they worshipping him. Any interaction with Krishna. Or even if they don't interact with Krishna, Krishna by his glance, by his thinking of them, by his contact somehow, by his contact, he delivers everybody. And the purpose for which he comes is only that. For delivering all the conditioned souls. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come to deliver everyone. Okay. So, but even though he says that if you have taken birth in Bharatvarsha, because Bharatvarsha, Prabhupada explains, is very special. Simply taking birth in Bharatvarsha itself is guaranteed liberation. Because Bharatvarsha is no ordinary place. It is Punya Bhumi, Tapo Bhumi, Deva Bhumi. So many ways Bharat Bhumi is described. Bharatvarsha is described in the scriptures. So don't think if you're taken birth in this country, you're born in a poor country. You're born in a country where not everyone is very beautiful looking. Some are ugly looking also. Forget all that. That is all characters of the external body. To take birth in Bharatvarsha means guaranteed deliverance from this material existence. Simply taking birth, that's enough. But then if you want to accelerate your going back to Godhead, then you have to finish off all your material business, at least before you quit this body. If not immediately, at least before the end of this life. So for that, Prabhupada is established, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established Krishna consciousness movement, and Prabhupada has spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world. And he says, just, you got a tongue, chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. If you just do this much, you go back to God. Just do this much, you go back to God. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, don't chant only for yourself. Chant for others also. How do you chant for others? You chant little loudly. So what happens when you chant little loudly? Haridas Thakur explains. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is described. You chant little loudly. There are so many other creatures in the room or in the place where you're chanting. Now they are not human form. They don't have human form. So they don't know what is this Hare Krishna, what is chanting, who is God, nothing. They are more forgetful than us about God. So, if on their ears this Hare Krishna mantra falls, that is enough for Krishna to deliver them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will deliver them. Either you chant or you hear Hare Krishna. You are delivered. So, you chant, of course, you will be delivered. But let others also get deliverance. No. So you request them, please chant Hare Krishna. And if they chant, fine. No, sometimes you request, but they will say, no, I won't chant. Then what do? At least make them hear Hare Krishna by your chanting. Make them somehow hear Hare Krishna. So, by making them hear Hare Krishna, still it is guaranteed that they will go back to God. They'll get deliverance. They'll stop. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.